JBN, we keep you informed. Man murdered in Little Bay, Westmoreland. The police say they have taken one man into custody in connection with the shooting death of another man in Little Bay, Westmoreland on Sunday, March 8. The deceased has been identified as 30-year-old Cordell Cazely, a laborer of Paul Island, while the identity of the accused is being withheld by the police. Reports are that about 4 a.m. Cazely was at a party in Little Bay when he got in an altercation with another man. The man reportedly brandished a gun, which he used to shoot Cazely in his upper body. Residents in the community surrounded the accused and managed to apprehend him, and he was later handed over to the police. Cazely was rushed to the Savamar Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. JuTC blamed for Jasmine Dean disappearance. The Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JuTC, is being blamed by the head of the University of the West Indies UA Disability Center for the disappearance of the 22-year-old visually impaired student Jasmine Dean, who was reportedly waiting at the school's pickup spot for more than an hour for a state-run bus almost 2 weeks ago. It is alleged that Dean, an international relations major at the university, had been standing at the bus stop near the school's Irving Hall gate from 8 p.m. on February 27. At 9:16 p.m. she was led into a taxi by a nearby fruit vendor. The problem that we had the other day is that, having completed her studies on campus, she went outside to take the public transportation to go home, and the public transportation system failed her, said Floyd Morris, an opposition senator who is blind. It wasn't the university. It is the public transport system that was not available, whether it be the taxi or the JuTC buses. I also understand that JuTC buses were out there, but they said they were not running, he added. Safety and security continues to be a major concern at the Eastern St. Andrew campus, as just recently, a female student of the university also boarded a PPV taxi on Hope Road heading to the university when the driver turned down the hill towards Golding Avenue, where he reportedly brandished a knife and held it at her throat before physically assaulting her. The student, however, managed to wrestle free of her attacker and escaped with bruises, the police reported. She was later taken to the Mona police post, where she made a report. In response to Morris's comments, JuTC Communications Manager Cecil Toms said that the bus company has an early cutoff time of 9 p.m. because of the volatility of crime-plagued Augustown and neighboring community. When Toms was informed that Dean had reportedly been standing at the bus stop from 8 on the night of her disappearance, he said that the delay might have been caused by a breakaway in Augustown that had slowed its fleet in the area. There is, in fact, a breakaway in Augustown that has caused a longer than usual wait period. The breakaway has been there since 2017 or 2018, and as a result, most of our units have had to be doing a double loop, which makes the distance that much longer. I cannot say with great certainty what would cause the issue here in terms of a bus not showing up over that period, but I can say we're having a meeting with the university to iron out as best as possible some of the issues and to see how best we can improve our service, Toms said. When asked if special transportation would be made available for disabled students in the wake of the Dean saga, Morris said that visually impaired and otherwise abled students do not require pity, but a consistent environment that will allow them to participate just as anyone else. I have been saying that not because Jasmine has gone missing means that we're going to venture into a pity party for students with disabilities, because students with disabilities don't want pity. Once we operate an office of special student services is to assist with the learning of students with disabilities, but when it comes on to transportation, it is the same services that are offered to non-disabled students that is offered to disabled students, Morris said. The Mona police are still investigating the disappearance of Dean and Monday's attempted abduction. Clarendon man charged with shooting with intent and housebreaking. A Clarendon man is to face the court on charges of shooting with intent and housebreaking following a break-in on Nelson Street in Mapen on Monday. He is 27-year-old Gavin Hudson, a mechanic of Hope District, Milk River. The police report that about 5:30 a.m. the owner of a mechanic shop went to investigate reports that a break-in was in progress at his shop. On his arrival, he reportedly saw 3 men, one of whom opened gunfire at him before attempting to escape. The shop owner returned fire. The police were summoned, and a motor car belonging to Hudson was found at the location. Sometime later, the police say he turned up at the hospital with a gunshot wound and was admitted for treatment. He remains in hospital under police guard. His court date is being finalized. Men disguised as women rob victim of debit card and cell phone. The police have charged 2 men in connection to a robbery which occurred on St. Lucia Close, Kingston 5 on Friday, March 3. 30-year-old Chad Walters and 22-year-old Danny Anderson of Wellington Street, Kingston, were both charged with robbery with aggravation. According to the police, Walters, Anderson, and 5 other men reportedly disguised themselves as women and held up and robbed the victim of his cellular phone and debit card. The debit card was reportedly used to steal cash from the victim's account. An investigation was launched after the report was made to the Halfway Tree Police, and Walters and Anderson were subsequently arrested. Elderly woman dies in blaze. A pall of gloom has overshadowed the community of Aunton Court in Lucy Hanover following the death of an elderly woman who perished in a fire which completely destroyed her home last Friday. The deceased has been identified as 80-year-old Gwendolyn Brown, otherwise called Miss Gwen. Reports by the police are that about 1:17 a.m. a neighbor saw fire coming from Brown's board and concrete dwelling and contacted the Lucy Fire Department. When the firefighters arrived, the building was engulfed in flames. They could only manage to carry out cooling down operations. Brown's charred remains were found among the rubble. Sean Malcolm, a neighbor, said that he has known Miss Gwen most of his life. She was a Christian-minded person who attended the Lucy Christian Fellowship Church and is known in the community as a form of community mother for the role she played in the bringing up of several children, Malcolm said. Miss Gwen was a very moody person at times, but very outspoken, and back in the day she had to work very hard doing domestic work or selling various farm products at the market. She did not have children of her own, but raised a lot of children. In the meanwhile, Raymond De Souza, superintendent in charge of the Jamaica Fire Brigade's Hanover Division, said that firefighters responded to the blaze with 1 unit and an ambulance. Following the fire, we carried out an investigation, but to date we have not verified the cause of the fire. It has left damages estimated in the regions of over $1.5 million, he said. It's a very unfortunate situation that this elderly resident lost her life in the fire, but definitely the parish is seeing a major decrease in domestic fires since January. 21 pedestrians dead from road crashes so far this year. 21 pedestrians have died from motor vehicle crashes since the start of the year. A worrying development for the Road Safety Unit RSU, which provided its latest update on Monday. RSU data showed that 90 persons have perished on the nation's roads in the first 69 days of the year as the carnage continues unabated. While the RSU has projected that road fatalities in 2020 will decrease by 20%, at the moment there is a 1% increase over last year's numbers. The 90 fatalities so far resulted from 80 fatal crashes, the RSU said. It lamented that the vulnerable group of road users continue to be just that, vulnerable. The group is made up of pedestrians, motorcyclists, pillion riders, and pedal cyclists, and accounts for 64% of the crash victims. For the past several years, motorcyclists have topped the road fatality list, and so far this year, things are no different. Since the start of the year, 25 motorcyclists have died from crashes, accounting for 28% of those who perished on the roads. Pedestrians are next, accounting for 23% of the road fatalities. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.